Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marcello Currents reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, and everybody with them. All right, this video, like I told you guys, I'm gonna keep. It's certain videos I'm gonna just keep going over and over again, and this is gonna be for 40 states that allow children to have sex. That's what it's gonna be. So during this video, I'm going to talk about the FBI, the CIA. Yeah, the CIA. I didn't mention them. Yeah, the CIA, FBI, police, and military. So you got FBI, CIA, military, and police, and everything in between, and they do not act like they know that 40 states allow children to have sex. 40 states allows children to have sex in America. Why haven't the CIA done nothing about that? Why haven't the FBI done nothing about that? Why haven't these police, these hypocritical police, done nothing about that? Why haven't the military done nothing about that, or made their voice known for about this for the children? Because how I see it, and is that if you give pedophiles any room, any inch, they're going to take a mile. So if you give them a law that say, okay, 16-year-olds can have sex, 17-year-olds, then they're going to go lower than that, and they're going to feel like, well, hey, children get to have sex in this country in 40 states. What's the difference? What's 12 months? What's wrong with 15? What's the difference? What's wrong with 12 months difference? This is how people are going to justify it. This is how human beings are going to justify it. Even people that are not even a part of um who would even think anything like that, they're still going to feel like, okay, you allow 16-year-olds to have sex, then what's the difference? 2 months, 2 years, 2 years difference. They're all children. They're all children. So technically speaking, what is 12 months going to do? This is how people, I'm telling you, this is how people think. What is 12 months going to do? If they're all children anyway. See, I don't know about anybody else, but when I turned 18, I see why 18 is the age for an adult. I see why. The reason why is because a light bulb goes off in the head of someone that turns 18. When I turned 18, I left home. I left my mother's house when I was 18 years old. Okay? I had been living with my mother up until 18. And although I went to another family member's house, it still is um, it still is a big move to wean yourself from your mother. It's not the same living with somebody else, and it's not the same not living with your parents. So I left home when I was 18. A light bulb went off. I just did it. So that's the difference when people will say, well, okay, the laws are 16 and 17. So what's the difference? They'll flip it around and say, what's the difference to wait for 18? Because humanly speaking, as far as humans go, the average human, something goes off in their head. A maturity, I'm not saying they're super mature like 40, 50 years old, but something begins to go off in the head where a light bulb goes off. And that's the basic bottom line. That's the difference. That's why people should be having sex at 18. So explain to me why the CIA, why the FBI, why the military, why the police allows children to have sex. They have no say-so on it, but yet you witch hunting people. But yet you putting people under the investigation. But yet you putting people in jail. But yet children get to have sex. What we need to understand here in America, I'm not talking about anywhere else, because the first thing these people want to do is go say, well, and over there they're way lower than that. No, 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 no. You don't have the luxury when you're caught contradicting yourself to go look at some other country. You contradict yourself because, like I've said in other videos, your community does not agree with children having sex. This is the conscience, this is the mindset of your people. There's no people, no stars, no musicians, no people, for the bulk part, that agree with anybody under 18 having sex. I can stay right there for a minute. Just let it marinate. Let it resonate. You feel me? No one in this country agrees with children having sex. So if that's the mentality of the community, why isn't it implied? Why isn't it enforced in the laws? Because no one agrees with it. You hear women all the time. They don't want their 16-year-old children their 16-year-old daughters having sex. They don't want their sons having sex at 17, 16, because they feel like they're going to ruin their life. This is the perspective of your people. This is the perspective of your authorities in this country. Okay? But yet, you sharply and totally contradict this by allowing children to have sex in this country. This is my punchline. I don't feel that no one in this country has the right to witch hunt anybody until you change the laws to 18 for having sex in all 50 states. If you don't have that, you don't have no right to witch hunt because you've opened the door. How are you going to open the door and say, okay, well, you can be with 16, but you can't be 14? You're talking to human beings. You're talking to human beings. You're allowing 16 to have sex. Well, what's wrong with 3 years earlier? That's how some people are going to justify it, man. And the fact that you have allowed the consent of sex to be under the line of an adult over into childhood. The age of consent is across the adult line over into childhood in 40 states. And you're mad at me or you're mad at yourself. You're mad at me or you're mad at yourself. You're mad at me for finding it out. Are you mad at me? Are you mad at yourself for allowing it and not knowing this? I don't think the CIA, the FBI, nobody in this country can get up in the community too with your uneducated selves. You need to go get your education. That's for the American community. Witch hunting people, you want to be Batman, you want to help the children, go get your education, okay? Because 40 states allows children to have sex in this country, which means no one in the right conscious and mind and sound of mind can override that and witch hunt anybody concerning children. How can you do it when you know 40 states allow children to have sex? How can the FBI go do a sting when you still got a whole foundation that allows children to have sex? In 40 states, not 3 states, not wild, or not 3 hot and spicy states, not 3 hot and spicy states, 40 states, the majority basically. Yeah, I'm going to keep harping on it because you got me started. You sit up here and you're a hypocrite and you allow children to have sex and you don't have no right to witch hunt anyone. Not at all. I don't care what they're doing. You open the door and expect everyone to abide by the rules. Bruh. You open the door for children to have sex in this country with 40 states and you expect these people to abide by the rules. Bruh, you're talking to human beings. You're talking to human beings. And if they're already doing stuff with children, you don't think they're going to go a little lower? Come on, man. America, you have to admit that you made the cesspool for pedophiles. You opened the door and now you want to act pious and act like you're so family oriented. You're so family oriented, why children having sex? Tell me that. You're so family oriented, why are laws in 40 states allowing children to have sex? You got all these commercials and all these images of loving children, but 40 states allows children to have sex at the same time while you got those commercials playing. While you got those ads playing, 40 states allows children to have sex. While you're trying to be family oriented and while you're walking down the street with your children like you're some stand-up guy or some family man, did you know that 40 states allows children to have sex here? That's for all the family men, all the family men, all the family men. Talking about protecting your children, protecting. Did you know that 40 states, man, allows children to have sex in this country? How can you claim to be a family man and you sit up here and say nothing about it? You want your 16-year-old daughter having sex? Do you want your 16-year-old daughter having sex where you can't do nothing about it because it's the laws? Do you want that to be the case? Do you want your 16-year-old son going out there and having sex like a wild rabbit and having 3 children by the time he's 25? This is what I'm telling you, man. These people are caught in the highest levels of hypocrisy, man. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. But if you just going over this knowledge in your head like this is not a big deal, then you know something's wrong. Something's wrong. You have been programmed to go along with whatever happens. But yet, people sit back and criticize these people that are pedophiles. How can you criticize them and not criticize your country, which allows 40 states to have, which allows 40 states allows children to have sex? How can you not criticize that, but you criticize all these pedophiles? You criticize Michael Jackson? I'm gonna go down the list right quick. This is for all you FBI, all you CIA, police, all this. You watched Michael Jackson. You investigated Michael Jackson. You investigated R. Kelly. All the whole country got this Me Too movement. While you got the Me Too movement, did you know that 40 states allows children to have sex? While you hashtag Me Tooing, did you know that 40 states allows children to have sex here in America? Huh? You didn't know that, did you? Just admit it, you didn't know it. Now that you know it, how do you feel about that? Don't just say, oh yeah, that's a neat information. I didn't know that. No, that changes everything. That changes everything. Whether you are a child-oriented person or not, or a family-oriented person or not, It's time to take down the hypocrisy in this country that these freaky people have put up. They put up hypocrisy right in your face. Yeah, doing one thing, saying one thing, and doing another. And they're right there. Yeah. I dare somebody try to tell me about a pedophile. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear it. When you got 40 states that allow children to have sex, I don't want to hear it. Because it's going on anyway. It's going on by law. By law it's going on. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Because this country, these entertainers, these politicians, the community too. You little people that the little community watch people, all across every neighborhood in America. Did you know that 40 states allows children to have sex? That's good information for your community watch. Next time y'all have a meeting, let them know that 40 states allows children to have sex. While you holding a community watch, you don't even know this. You are dumb. You a dumb country. I am so tired of you. You are tired and played. You can sit up here and think you know what you're doing. And you got 40 states. You sitting on 40 states that allow children to have sex. CIA, FBI, particularly FBI and police, you out here running around trying to catch sex predators. But 40 states allows children to have sex. How can you do it in the right conscience? How can your conscience not convict you to do something about that? While at the same time, you're out here witch hunting people and out here mobbing on people and putting mobs behind people with their fiery torches. But while they're holding their fiery torches, they in the land where 40 states allow children to have sex. Yeah. You know what the conclusion is? It's time for the system of America to cease as it is and become something else. It has to become a phoenix. It has to burn in the fire and rise up as something else. That bald eagle got to burn in the fire and become something else. That's the facts. Because there's no way you can justify this. You lose. I'm not trying to make you lose. You did that. I didn't tell you to do it. I didn't anger you to it. I didn't go, like I tell people, I didn't go swim across a river and go get a scroll in a mountain, in a cave, and found out that America allows children to have sex in 40 states. I am so shocked that people have sat here with the mentality to play around and witch hunt people and call people pedophiles and sex predators and have these Me Too movements where people are sexually abused, but you have 40 states that allows children to have sex. So who knows if the sex predator was considering this when he was abusing people? Or she was abusing people? You don't think any of these sex predators have considered that you have 40 states that allows children to have sex? You don't think none of them consider that? You don't think none of them check the laws? Yeah. I don't know what to say. All I can say is this is the energy and vibrations we are around. Now, for the past, 7 years, now it's this movement like where people want to try to witch hunt and find out if people are pedophiles and things like this. And it's like, bruh, do you know that your country allows children? They're not 18, they're not 19, they're not 20. Allows them to engage in full-grown, supposed to be grown, sexual intercourse. Children, sexual intercourse. Like I told people before, this means a 16-year-old girl can date a 250-pound football player. And she just is about a buck, what, buck 20? If even that at 16. Probably not. Barely 100 pounds. And you got a football player that is 250 pounds doing all kind of drills and everything. And he goes and get behind a 16-year-old girl. This is a reality, bruh. These people that's taking the people that's taking advantage of these laws are actors, singers, politicians, famous people. All and look, if it's not you, it's not you. But it's got to be people who have money, prestige, things like that, because they can hide it. They can conceal it. Bring them to the room. They even know, and they even have higher levels where girls are just probably in the arena, in the ring with these rich people. They know the laws in the country. Rich men that want to be with little girls will educate themselves on the laws. They'll go to each state. They'll have people that already set up arenas. This is people who don't get charges. They don't go to jail because it's legal. I'm trying to show you. Somebody's taking advantage of these laws. You don't think so because you wouldn't do it, but somebody's taking advantage of these laws if kids are still having sex with adults anyway. If men are having sex with children anyway, then you don't think they're taking advantage of these laws. You don't think they're taking advantage of these laws. You are naive. It is concealed from the American community. They have places that are high up with 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds present themselves to the rich. That's who's been taking advantage of it. Because like I told people before, a poor man, I don't care how he justified, he couldn't get away with it. He could say, well, the age of consent, nobody's trying to hear that. Nobody's trying to hear that. You know what I mean? So the poor man this law was not even made for the poor man. Because in actuality, I mean, we can go back in the day and say, well, some children were having sex, this and that and the third. But as time went on, and as these laws were probably passed, they had the rich in mind. Let me just say this. They had the rich in mind. Okay? Ain't no poor man going to get no acceptance from being with a little girl in no time. Everybody wants a woman. Every man wants a woman. We can agree on that, right? Every man usually wants a woman. All right? For the most part. Okay? A man wants a fully developed woman. He wants fully developed breast. He wants fully developed buttocks. He wants a fully developed woman. That most men do. So if that's the community mentality, then this man, if a poor man tried to be with little girls when people should feel that he should be with a fully developed woman, then that tells us that this law couldn't work. First, it couldn't work for a poor man, and it really wasn't ever for the poor man. It was for the rich that could conceal being with little girls. You see what I'm saying? It was never for I'm saying all that to say this. It has to be for those who have arenas with little girls set in, and rich guys come into town and have sex with them. Because that had to be the intention from the whole beginning, because a poor man cannot really live in that culture. So who was the one thinking about it? Was it a family man? All you family men and every last one of you, would you make a law where 40 states allow children to have sex? Would you do it? I mean, in wisdom. Now. Would you do that? Would you make a law that allows children to have sex? Would you set a law? Even though you might say, oh, okay, some females are mature at a young age, but would you set a law that allows children to have sex? No, you wouldn't. And me, how I've always been is I always said this, if I have sex with someone, I will wait to, this is when I was in the world, I will wait till she is 18 the second day after her birthday, just so I know that she was, whatever hour she was born, it's already covered the next day. If I have sex with her the day after her 18th birthday, whatever hour she was born, I covered it. But I never did it anyway. I'm just saying that's my standard in myself, though. That's what I tell people when I talk to people. When I used to, when I used to hang out in the world, I say, hey, I will wait till after the 18-year-old girl's birthday, the next day after, so you know that you covered whatever hour she was born. That's my standard. Because some people just be like, hey, it's your 18th birthday, and people do it in this country. It's your 18th birthday and still have sex with them. But you know they wasn't born at 12 o'clock on the dot. But you putting all kind of penis in an 18-year-old girl, 12 o'clock on the dot, and you know she wasn't born 12 o'clock on the dot. That's what I'm saying. It's a higher level of standards. It's a higher level that this country has not lived up to. So FBI, CIA, police, military, 40 states allows children to have sex in this country.